Hi, Stephen, can I ask you how you found this morning's event?
I found it very, very well organised and very informative. It's the only one of these that I've been able to attend because of other commitments, but it seems to be that there's a very, very good balance there, that all the party leaders are getting their fair hearing and that they are subject to the questioning from a very well attended event. So I thought it was a very good event.
And what would be the key messages you took away from this morning from Margaret's speech?
The fact that they are taking into consideration the long-term effects of their policies, that they do want to make immediate interventions, but in the long term, that what really does matter is the economy, and the fact that they do wish to dissolve some of the petty politics and sort of near history ramifications of their policy and turn it into pragmatic government and pragmatic rules and pragmatic implementation of government in the executive.
And as a Chamber member and as a private sector business, Stephen, where would you see the key economic challenges for Northern Ireland moving forward?
Well, it's obvious that we need to be less reliant on the public purse, that we need to adopt policies, or the government needs to adopt policies where private sector is able to flourish. And indeed, of primary concern to us is that where government procures services from the private sector, that they allow them to make a profit and to grow as businesses, so that that investment that they're making back in can slowly diminish, and that the private sector can flourish and stand on its own 2 feet.
Thank you very much. Angela, what did you take from this morning's event?
Well, it was certainly very interesting. It's nice to see actually some support for the economy in the short term, in terms of some of the ideas that were out there, because there's no doubt about it, the economy does need support in the short run, but also the fact that the party is very committed to a long-term view, because at the end of the day it takes a long time to get an economy up and running very well structurally. It doesn't happen overnight. It's all to do with skills, enterprise, etc., and I like to hear about a long-term vision, which is what we heard today.
Okay. Were you impressed with the level of engagement between the business and the political representative, Margaret Ritchie, this morning?
Yeah, there's certainly lots of questions for her, and of course all politicians have their standard answers, so we've heard many of them before. But yes, there was good engagement there, and I think it's a big learning curve actually. A lot of the business community probably don't have an awful lot of time to sit and study the political manifesto, so this has been great in that you get a quick summary. You don't have to go and read all the documentation.
And did you learn anything particularly new or radical from SDLP policy this morning?
There was one initiative that came up about taking total autonomy over our social security payments. That was one that I hadn't come across before and actually haven't thought it through. I'm going to go off and read up about that. I'm not 100% convinced it's what we want, but maybe it is something we should be thinking about. So that was a new one to me this morning, yeah.
Okay. Great, thank you very much. Quintin, what did you take from this morning's event?
I think it's a tribute to the Chamber that they are hosting these genuine engagements with the party leaders. 10 years ago this would have been unthinkable. The business community and the political community were in separate camps. Politicians did their thing, businesses kept their head down, tried to do okay, and now we have created a genuine dialogue. I think it's tremendous. Fair play to the Chamber and fair play to the politicians who have been doing their homework to try and strengthen their understanding of economics and their contribution to future policy.
And in terms of the SDLP's key messages, what stuck with you this morning?
I think they're making an effort to think long term, and therefore the clarity of a 25-year plan with short and medium term objectives within it came over very clearly. An understanding of the localness of our economy and some regret, I think, about the lack of the real economic levers of power being in the hands of local politicians.
And as somebody who acts as a bridge between business and politics in many cases, do you think there's an understanding amongst the business community as to how the political structures impact upon them?
I think that's improving significantly. It used to be, I think, a real clash of cultures with no sound emerging from that clash as the parallel tracks of business and politics had very little interaction. I think now there is an effort by the business community too, who realise that politicians pass laws, they negotiate deals, they set the tone, and they spend billions of pounds of public money, all of which has a primary and a secondary economic impact. And I think that can only improve. Otherwise, we will be left in the doldrums regretting things that have happened to us rather than taking control of what we, Northern Ireland PLC, can do for ourselves.
Thank you very much.